What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another very exciting video. In this video, we're going to be talking about what everyone is talking about this week, and that is Apple's announcement on the Vision Pro headset that they are releasing next year. So what we're going to do is something different that I haven't seen out there done yet, and that is we're going to talk about this announcement from the perspective of Meta. Meta has invested billions of dollars over the last couple of years into developing their own VR headset, and I want to take a look at this announcement from Apple and what it really means for Meta moving forward. So that is what we're going to do in this video here today. If you enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit that sub button. Before we jump into all the details, let's take a look at how each stock has reacted to this announcement. Here we have Apple's stock chart, and we can see that the announcement took place on June 5th. And leading into the day, the stock was trading around $181. And after the announcement, it spiked all the way up to around $184.50. However, later in the day, the price point of this new product was announced, and the stock came crashing back down to around $179.50 and has basically traded sideways from there throughout the rest of the week. For Meta, we can look at the same chart and we can see that on Monday, they actually had a fairly similar reaction to Apple, where the stock bounced a little bit up throughout the day. It went from around $270 to around $275 by noon on Monday. However, in the afternoon, similar to Apple, the stock traded down. We saw a similar move on Tuesday, up, and then the stock trade down. And here today, we have actually seen the stock trade down over 3% on the day. The presentation of the Vision Pro headset is exactly what you would expect from Apple. They come out with very sleek looking technology, a huge announcement, and they do an excellent job of showing off not only how great the technology looks, how well it works, but also, and most importantly, how it can be utilized throughout your everyday life. So right off the bat, there are two things that I find very interesting between Apple's presentation of their headset and Meta's presentation. The first is Apple does a very good job of showing how their existing technology and existing apps integrate into their new technology. We can see Safari, we can see Photos, we can see Messenger, and how they will be utilized within this new technology. And that is a great way of helping users feel more comfortable with what this technology actually brings to the table and how it relates to things that they are already doing and already using. The second thing, in my opinion, is the most important thing going forward for headsets, and that is AR technology. AR technology is augmented reality. The fact that Quest has focused a lot on virtual reality has been one of their drawdowns. In my opinion, AR technology is what the future is. How we can integrate these headsets into everyday life and make augmented reality more familiar and more comfortable for the end user. That is something that Apple has done very well here, right? Someone is literally sitting in their living room and it is showing how you can interact with people while still having the headset on. You can look through your photos, you can go on Messenger, you can watch movies with this headset. These are things that I've talked about and I thought where Meta was headed, and I still think that Meta is going to head there in the future. But right now, with what Apple has presented, it appears that they are ahead on these goals and already integrating AR technology into their headsets very well. One thing I did want to touch on is the Apple versus the Meta Quest Pro in terms of the size of the headset. When we look at the two headsets, they seem to be very similar in size. The one thing that Apple may have done better is the band across the back on this Apple headset looks a little bit more comfortable than what we see from the Meta Quest Pro. You can see the Meta Quest Pro headset here and this hard kind of band of plastic across the back. That might not be super comfortable if you were to wear it for a long period of time. However, the next thing that I wanted to point out about these two headsets is the price point. So here for the Meta Quest Pro, you're sitting at $999.99. And when we look at Apple's Vision Pro headset, it is priced over 3.5 times more expensive than Meta's Quest Pro, sitting at a price of $3,500 US and is not expected to be available until early next year. In my opinion, there's a couple things that are very concerning with this Apple announcement. The first is the price point. When we look at the price point of $3,500 and we compare that to where the average income is, around $65,000 to $70,000, you're talking about a very large percentage of that income that people would have to dish out to get one of these headsets. That means it's not very readily available. The people who really want this are not going to be able to get it because they just frankly cannot afford it. So basically what you're talking about is something that is really only available for the very wealthy or the upper middle class. So that is a very niche part of the population, and the vast majority of the population cannot afford this. The second thing that I find very concerning with this announcement is the age group of people who they have presenting this technology. If you look at everyone who's wearing this new Apple Vision Pro headset during this video, they are all in their mid 30s, let's say, plus. They don't have anyone in the younger generations. And in my opinion, this is a big flaw by Apple, because if you look at all of the technologies that have recently, let's say, came out, whether it's the iPhone, Facebook, or TikTok, they all were originally adopted by people in high school and college. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first is people in those age groups, they don't have a whole lot of expenses, and they're all working part-time jobs relatively to make some income that they can afford things like this. And Apple missed that front on two aspects. One, they aren't even trying to appeal to that demographic because they don't have anyone presenting that technology. And two, the price point is so high that for someone working a part-time job, it would still be very difficult for them, even with their low expenses, to afford a headset that's $3,500. In my opinion, Meta with the Quest Pro, you're talking about $1,000. That is something that someone in high school or college could afford by working a part-time job. But $3,500, you're immediately pricing a lot of those people out. The second thing is, with new technology like this, people who have less developed brains, like those people in high school and college, have a little bit more ease of learning new technology, right? They have more free time as well to learn it, but their brains are also less developed, so they are able to really look at this new technology, learn the functionality of it, and learn how it can be used in their everyday lives. The other thing with that is, once they get comfortable with this new technology and using it, they're going to talk about it with their friends. And that is a massive marketing opportunity that you have that you don't even have to pay for. When people are talking about your technology with their friends, that is basically free marketing that will get more people to buy your product. So the biggest loser from all this may not actually be Meta or Apple. At the end of the day, I think both of them are ahead on this technology, and I do believe that AR is the future of where smartphones and everyday lives is really going. I think the biggest loser from these announcements could actually be Samsung. I have not seen anything from Samsung. I haven't seen what technology they're coming out with, if they even have a headset. I have no idea what they're doing and if they are going to race into this industry as well. I think at the end of the day, if they don't, they could easily fall off and completely miss out on where technology could be headed. And that could be the biggest loser from this announcement, is that Samsung could actually fall off and the Galaxy could no longer be a very big deal. We could actually see two new players in the phone kind of market, if you want to call it that, being Apple and Meta. With all of that said, personally, I do own Apple shares as well as Meta shares. I like both of the companies for the long term. In my opinion, they are going to be the number one and number two players in this industry, and I do believe that the headset industry will eventually overtake the cell phone industry. I don't think cell phones in the next 10 to 15 years will really be a thing. I think people are going to get glasses that will be AR glasses that will do everything that cell phones can do, basically just sitting on your head. And I think that is where the future is headed, and I think Apple's really showing that. I think Meta is really showing that, and I believe the biggest loser from all this could be Samsung. I think at the end of the day, we could actually see Google and Android integrate their existing ecosystem into Meta's ecosystem, and I do think that will benefit both Google and Meta, and I think Apple has obviously done a very great job at integrating their existing ecosystem into their technology. So keep in mind, that is all my opinion. That's not guaranteed to happen. We're talking about over a number of years because this technology is still very bulky. I think it's going to slim down in the next few years, and that is really what's going to allow it to explode into the future. So with all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit that sub button. And as always, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day.